Hey guys, what's up? It's Sydney and welcome back to my channel and my series Haunted Location. This is my second episode and honestly I wasn't going to record today, but while I was researching for this episode, some of the weirdest things started happening. I know I'm going to sound crazy to some of you. I was trying to dig a little deeper into certain ghosts. There's basically no information on this ghost, but as I was trying to do so, my web pages were like forced closing. My laptop shut off completely and I had to restart the whole thing, and I was just like, what the fuck? I'm already a little freaked out on this one, and it's kind of scary, and the fact that I'm recording this at night is even scarier. I just want to give you a heads up. This is a really freaky one. Let's just get into it. This episode is going to be on the Moon River Brewing Company in Savannah, Georgia. This is one of the most haunted places in the United States, considering it was one of the biggest battlegrounds for the Civil War and many other battles that took place. The brewing company was built in 1821, originally as a hotel. Now this hotel was very upscale, so a lot of like politicians, doctors, lawyers, prestigious people went to this hotel because their bar served like imported like liqueur and stuff, so they could get all of that stuff there, so they started going there. So because obviously there's these like conflicting politicians and everything like that, there's going to be issues. People are drinking, they get emotional. So it was already a very violent place to begin with. As I said before, this was the middle of the Civil War when the worst of the worst with the hotel was happening. There was said to be like 50,000 deaths. So with the North and South against each other, there was so many violent acts that took place. Not only with the Civil War vets, but a lot of the patrons and guests that were visiting from the North to the South, obviously, because the North was against the South at this point in time, were injured due to just bar brawls and people having differences of opinions. One of these patrons was James Sinclair. He was a New York Northern. He was one of the victims that was actually attacked during this time. They attacked him and attempted to lynch him. Well, they did lynch him. He actually survived it. He was lucky to escape with his life. During the war, the hotel served as a Confederate hospital known as River Battery Hospital. They had soldiers from both sides being treated there, and soldiers from both sides that obviously died there. Not only was this a battleground, but there was actually numerous fires that took many people's lives. And during the war is when the peak of the yellow fever broke out. Not only were these soldiers that were wounded and fighting for their lives, but they were also exposed to yellow fever. And a lot of the kids that were admitted for having yellow fever, and a lot of them unfortunately perished there as well. Even the police have spoken about the paranormal activity that takes place in Savannah, Georgia. A woman called the police station because she didn't obviously know who else to call, because she was hearing voices. So when the officer got there, he tried to do whatever he could to calm her down. He noticed that the TV was on, so he went to unplug the TV to let her know, you know, it's okay, there's gonna be no more voices, no more noise. And when he went to go plug the pole out of the TV, he pulled it out of the TV, but the TV was still playing. He kind of stood there for a second with like the plug in his hand and just kind of like dumbfounded and baffled. Like, how is this TV still on right now? I have the plug in my hand. So creepy. Because usually like police and, you know, they're the first ones to like dismiss obviously that kind of thing. For them to like blatantly come out and say it is kind of crazy. So with all this back history, there's so much, like I said. So I'm gonna give you a little bit more back history, but I'm gonna go into the ghost section of it because I feel like it intertwines. First ghost that I want to talk about, one of the most famous, is James Stark. James Stark was a dick, to say the least. He was not liked by anyone, and he was known as the town drunk. He was already not liked, and people did not obviously feel remorse when he did pass. He was always having feuds with the local physician, and his name was Philip Minnies. Philip Minnies was actually Jewish. Stark would make racial comments towards him, and I guess Minnies just had enough of it one day, and he pulled his pistol out and he shot him. And he now resides as a spirit in the hotel. The craziest thing actually is that Minnies got off a murder charge due to justifiable homicide and affairs of honor, which, I mean, I get it, like, he wasn't a liked guy, but like, murder's murder. So obviously, like I said, he's a dick. He's gonna be a dick in the afterlife too. So he has been known to push people. He has been known to push them downstairs. He has been known to tug on clothing. He's just an asshole. In this life and the next, he was an asshole. And the second ghost that I want to get into, I honestly don't even want to say ghost because I don't know if it's a ghost or not. This is the part that my laptop started to shut down and everything stopped working, so I really hope my camera doesn't fuck up right now. I want to talk to you guys about Toby. Toby is said, by the way, the staff named him Toby. Toby is said to be a black figure or a young boy. I've only read that on one source, so I take that with a grain of salt. He is the most chilling, most terrifying, most gruesome spirit that resides in this brewery. He is known to stay in the basement. He has known to be seen moving through shadows. He has actually attacked people. He attacked a woman, he choked her and pushed her, and one paranormal investigator actually claims to have been possessed in the basement. So, like I said in my last one, that it was a bucket lister and I wanted to go, I'm probably not gonna go or want to go to this one, mainly because of Toby. I just got like the weirdest feeling when I started researching him and it just, I don't want to fuck with it. So yeah, I'm not gonna go to that one, but I'm like more than happy to tell you guys about it. So yeah, not only does he actually attack people, he has been heard, so he has actually made threats towards people. He has growled, which is terrifying in my opinion, and that's just so like bone chilling. I just can't. But anyone that has stepped foot in the basement has said to feel very uncomfortable, very, very cold, and just have chills up and down their spine. And it's interesting and like kind of cool when you like have a good experience, but like to be so terrified and afraid. Some of these paranormal investigators that I was like watching interviews about, like they won't even go back to this place. They won't set foot in it. So that's kind of scary. So anyway, the next, I'm kind of like combining these two. Obviously the Civil War vets that I talked about earlier, and the young children that died of yellow fever. So the Civil War vets have been known to be seen in the dining room, standing behind people, just walking and then disappearing. The children have been seen by many guests as well. The fourth one, and if it's true, is actually really sad. And it's about the woman in white, or the glowing white figure. The story that I read, that I don't necessarily believe because I only read it on one source, it didn't seem very credible to me, but the story I'm going to tell you guys anyway. She was a woman that was a prostitute and that she got pregnant, and that the man didn't want, obviously, her or the baby, so he pushed her down the stairs. She has been said to be very violent with men because of this reason, and have actually pushed people down the stairs, but women included. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know if I believe this 100%. I'm gonna leave that to you guys to believe, but some people say she just fell down the stairs. Some people say she was pushed by this man. So either way, she pushes other people down the stairs, and that's pretty terrifying in itself. I would say she's maybe not a great spirit to be around, but if it's a true story, then it is really unfortunate and really sad. Many employees and guests, especially in like the restaurant and bar area, have actually reported to have been slapped, pushed, they have been touched inappropriately, they have been grabbed. There have been reports of flying bottles, flying silverware, plates, just all around paranormal activity. Many of them have also seen a full-figured woman walking all the way across the dining area, and she literally just disappears into thin air, and a handful of people witness this, and as she disappears into thin air, a like very calm hush like fell over the room. Very creepy. And this is the part that's super unfortunate, and the part that really actually kind of scares me about Toby specifically, is that one of the former employees, she was greatly affected by this. She obviously would go into the basement, and she reported seeing a black figure moving through the shadows. She worked there for multiple of years, but she felt like she maybe brought something with her, because it's unfortunate, but 11 people did actually pass in the matter of 6 weeks, and it was from very bizarre things, like for example like a toothache or a like root canal or something like that. And then the other one was their heart was literally ripped in half. Something that you can't really medically determine in a way, I guess. So she was greatly affected by this, and that's honestly what scares me the most, is watching the interviews with her is like really quite chilling and terrifying, because you can see like the fear and the terror on this woman's face, and it's really quite scary. All the negative spirits just affected her so much, and I feel so strongly for her, because I can't even imagine that many people that you know personally passing like in the matter of like a month and a half. That's crazy. Like I said, so much tragedy, so much terrible things that happened within this historical land, and it's actually quite sad. So honestly, this is not one that I'll be visiting, because Toby scares the shit out of me. Like I said, when I was even just looking up information on this place, my laptop started bugging out. Like I'm good. I hope you guys liked this episode of Haunted Locations, Moon River Brewery edition. If you want to see the first episode, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, that will be linked down below. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video so that way I know to do more of these, and comment if I miss any information, please, because I would love to know more about Toby. Even though he scares the shit out of me, I want to know more about Toby. If you want, you can follow me at Sydney's Poisonous on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in my next Haunted Locations video. Bye.